What is up, saucy people of the world? It is me, your host, Christian Agamada, back with The Sauce, and I am here with one of the sauciest people I know. This is my boy, Jeremy Rose.
What's going on, Christian? Nice to be here.
All right, and today we are going to be on the topic of dance slash bodybuilding, which is
Yes,
both
sir.
a hobby and an expertise of Jeremy. So, Jeremy, how did you get started with dancing?
I first started dancing in like freshman year. Was like interested in middle school a little bit, but I really know like how to do it. And so I joined Soul Purpose, which is like a dance company at my high school when I joined high school. And from there, I like progressed to know like little levels in the dance company and went to the practices, improved, practiced at home, and just from there, learned to enjoy dancing and you know want to do it past high school and in college.
Right, so how did you first get into dancing? What was your origin story?
Well, to go into specifics, it would be like middle school. I was watching a bunch of videos on specifically this one dude, Fiction. He initially like I was super interested in like the popping, like robotic type of hip hop dance, and so I thought that was super cool. I wanted to do so. I joined Soul Purpose, which isn't exactly that, but dance to dance. So I started with them, and then from there, I kind of learned how to dance from Soul Purpose, but also transmuted that to my own like what I wanted to do with dance. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. That does make
Yeah.
sense. So you kind of innovated your own style from what you've learned and what you watched, and kind of just derived how you dance from all that experience that you've gotten from the past. Is that correct?
Right, right. Yeah, I imitated fiction style and like popping pretty much, and then also added some like it's hard to just do one style, so I was trying to imitate my director Kat Davis like contemporary and jazz and stuff, and put that into popping as well. So yeah,
Right. And what are like some life lessons that you've learned from being in Soul Purpose from dancing all these years?
that's a good question. I would say one thing that is kind of dark, but if you people are gonna tell you like, "Hey, you're not good at this," or "You should stop. This is weird," or something like that. Because dance is usually stereotypically it's more feminine,
Right, right.
but you can like push the boundaries. You can do whatever you want. You can pursue whatever passion that you want to pursue, and so that's what I'm trying to do with dance. And now the community's like a lot larger and it's a lot less like feminine, of course, because it's 2020. But
Right.
yeah, so I would say don't listen to the haters, as cliche as that is.
Don't listen to the haters. That's a good one.
Yes, sir.
But who did you most listen to when you first started? Obviously, you had Soul Purpose, but who was like your mentor? Who did you look up to?
Well, it started with Kat Davis, who's the director of Soul Purpose, initially, and then as a junior and senior, a man Brian Doe, he joined as our hip hop director. He actually went through Soul Purpose like 2012, like a while back, and he came back as our hip hop director. And I was really inspired by him because first off, he was a popper, and he was like pretty much the exact style that I wanted to learn about. And he also allowed us to come in after practice and stuff like that, and just like teach like one on one, or like me and my buddy Kyle would come in, and he would like coach us basically on how to improve and stuff like that, and what he thought we needed improving on. So it was super helpful to have a inspiration and a coach like that to mentor me throughout the last couple years of high school.
Definitely, definitely. And while you were in Soul Purpose, you mentioned the last 2 years, and you also mentioned you climbed up the ranks. Can you explain to me what does that mean? What does it climbing up the ranks mean?
Yeah, of course. Basically, how we've had it is in Sole Purpose, there was like an apprentice level and training and company. And basically, the higher you got, it was meant to be like you have higher skill and then you have more practices, basically, and you get to do more rallies or performances. And theoretically, you're supposed to start as an apprentice, and then maybe your next year you go to a trainee, and then if you improve enough, then you could be company member, and
Right.
that gives you like a seventh period like class during high school. It's like an athletic PE. So freshman year I was an apprentice, and then uh, my sophomore year I went to company member, and then I stayed there my next 2 years.
That's great to hear. And while company, what was what was the difference? Like, obviously you're doing more stuff, but obviously you're gonna
Right.
be seeing like the behind the scenes and whatnot that probably the apprentices and the trainees don't get to see. How has being in company changed your perspective with dance and whatnot?
That's a great question, honestly. So sophomore year I was company, and then junior and senior year I was actually I was company, but I was also leadership, which is not really a step above company by any means, but you got to do more of the leadership and like the I was treasurer, and you get to do more of the technical things behind the scenes, like you're asking.
Right, yeah.
So basically, you do a lot more teaching and coaching of the younger groups, or like the apprentice and trainee groups, and you also get to learn what Kat, when she's teaching, what she does in order to like control the classroom, as well as the like staging. So like, what are the lightings for when you perform, or what are the like how to do the sound and how to do all these special effects, which is something you're not going to get to experience. Even some of the company members didn't get to experience if they weren't in leadership. So I was really thankful to be able to learn that kind of stuff from Kat, and have the outside experience of not just dance, but what goes on behind the scenes, like you said.
Yeah, that whole experience with leadership definitely gives you a different mindset, makes you look at dance and the whole scene really differently.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned that you want to be pursuing this outside of college. So outside of Sole Purpose Dance Company, what are you looking to do?
Um, I think so. I'm going to UC Irvine for college, and I wanted
Congratulations
to
on that, by the way.
thank you. I appreciate that very much. And so there, I wanted to find a dance company to join, and if not a dance company or a crew, hip hop crew, the terms are kind of interchangeable for me. I wanted to find a crew to join so I could continue practicing and have the that schedule to keep me on track with my dance career. And I'm not sure if I fully want to be like a professional dancer by any means, but I definitely want to keep practicing and improving with the good dance community around me. So I could either participate in battles or ciphers or different like dance events that they have. Excuse me, in UC Irvine with their dance community.
Okay, so let's say you're someone like me and has no clue what the terms you just said. What are ciphers and battles and whatnot? Battles I can kind of get, but what are the
Right.
different parts? What are you talking about?
Gotcha. No, that's my apologies. So, well, obviously, a battle is you or like you and one other person. You do have different rounds where you dance for a minute, they dance for a minute, you dance for a minute, they dance for a minute, and then depending on how many rounds, then the judges will, on the count of three, like vote one side or the other. Wins. If there's a tie, then there's one extra round, and then you vote again. That's There's a lot of like tournaments and stuff like that where you have like pre eliminations and first round, second round. Basically, like any sports team go head to head against each other to the championships. It's the same thing, just a little faster pace. A cipher is more like a circle of dancers just trying to get like exchange their movement, basically show what their style is, and they there's a circle, and you basically like go in the circle, dance for 30 seconds to a minute, whatever you want, basically, and then it's a lot less formal, and you come out, and then other people can. It's less competitive. Basically, you just come in, show your style, show what you want to do, and then come out and get to experience everyone else's style and stuff like that. So it's a very friendly environment, and even in battles, it's very friendly environment where people just get to, even though it's a battle, you get to share your movement, share your style with the other person.
Right, that sounds pretty cool in my
Yeah,
opinion. And hopefully I get to witness one of these Cyphers and battles. Obviously, you talked
I'll.
all about pop-in, so I hope you pop off in those in UC Irvine.
Yes, sir. I'll definitely invite you if I can.
Can't wait, cannot wait. But there's also another topic that I want to touch on. which is bodybuilding, which is something I've heard that you have gone into the past couple of years. Can you explain more on that?
Yes. I'm trying. My first, I kind of got interested in it my freshman year of high school, and I didn't really get serious until the beginning of my senior year. So I started learning. There's a lot to it, and I started learning my freshman year, and I would work out inconsistently. But I was more kind of losing weight because I was kind of a chubby kid in middle school, a little bit. Um, and so recently, as I mentioned, my the beginning of my senior year, I kind of got more serious and I started going to the gym like 3 to 4 times a week. And so I've now been going well since like pretty much August of last year. So I'm getting close to a full year, and just learning everything, learning that eating is just as important as the working out aspect, and the critical things like volume and always pushing yourself harder each workout, stuff like that. Definitely, it's not only good for your mental health, but good for like physically as well.
Definitely, definitely. And you talked about eating. Can you go more into depth about that? What
Yeah.
does having a proper diet have to do with making gains?
Well, yeah, of course. A lot of it is, I'm sure most of you and most people have heard of, you got to eat like a bunch of protein, make gains, and that is important for sure. But it's also just getting, you have something called a maintenance calorie level. And so you
Okay,
have to get above that maintenance calorie level in order to, most of the time, in order to make muscle gains. So your body has to be eating more than what it needs in order to create extra mass, which kind of makes sense
that does make
logically.
sense, yeah.
Right. And so if you're trying to gain mass like I am, you eat like 300 to 400 calories more than whatever that maintenance level is. And then if you're trying to cut or lose fat, you try to have probably a little higher protein, and then 300 to 400 below whatever your maintenance level is. And that your maintenance level just depends on your height and your current body weight and statistics like that. Excuse me.
Oh, okay, so you gotta like calculate it and whatnot, and it's just,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not that hard to calculate it, but you gotta keep track of your calories, making sure
Yeah.
that you gain. Okay, that sounds fairly simple.
Yeah, the calculator part, there's like a handful of websites you could just go look that up. But really, the hard part is, for sure, is just counting your calories and knowing what your macros and calories are for each day and making sure you're hitting those numbers consistently. Because it seems easy, like, oh, just count your calories, but it's something you have to do each meal, everything you eat. So it can get tedious occasionally.
Okay, and you say
Yeah.
consistently, which I'm sure you have to have a lot of discipline just to maintain the rigor and the amount of working out that you do each day. Can you explain to me how you got that discipline? How you just what motivates you to become stronger and to maintain all that dieting and whatnot?
Thanks for asking that. I would say at first it was like when I first started bodybuilding or attempting to like working out, more like just fitness. In my freshman year, it was I felt insecure about myself and I didn't like how I looked and I wanted to change that. So I started to try to fix or not fix, but like change and improve upon my body. And then as it progressed, it became more of like a mental thing. People like you've heard of like runner's high and stuff like that. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing for weightlifting, pretty much. Like you work out, you hit a good workout, you get a good pump going, you're like, oh, I feel good about myself. And so mentally, you feel really good about yourself, and then over time, you see the gains in your like muscles and stuff like that. So it makes you feel good there. And so it started out more physical, and it still is like, oh, I want to look good, but a lot of it is feeling good, like mentally, and not feeling like a slob or something like that. It makes you more confident, and like for me, it makes me continues my like drive to do other things throughout the day as
Definitely. I'm over here chugging sodas every day, huffing and puffing out of bed
well.
every morning. I'm struggling, Jeremy. But now in like let's quarantine time, right?
Yeah.
How do you continue to maintain the amount of exercises you're doing without going to the gym? Because obviously you're going out, working out at the gym. How do you maintain your gains?
Well, luckily for me, Actually, the quarantine allowed me to work out a lot more than I had previously. I told you I was going like 3 to 4 times, but I was also obviously at school and I was working a job a couple days a week. So
Right.
going to the gym was always a struggle because either I would go to the gym and be tired or not go because I would, need sleep and stuff like that. However, in the quarantine, it actually gave me a lot of time to work out, and now I'm working out with my dad like 5 times a week consistently, and we have a schedule and everything. And luckily for me, I have like a bench and squat at my house, so I have all those Olympic bars and stuff, and I have like a dumbbell set. So for me, quarantine didn't hit as hard gym wise because I had some of that equipment already.
Right. Yeah.
So it was really nice that way, but I understand a lot of people don't have that and aren't as lucky, and so they would have a tough time. They'd have to do a lot of calisthenics, which is like body weight exercise, push-ups, pull-ups. So they'd have to get a lot more creative in their weightlifting, which luckily I wasn't forced to do as much.
Okay, that's great to hear because I can still see your gains are going pretty strong. Yeah.
I'm I'm trying. I'm getting there. It's a long long road.
What gym do you go to, by the way, and do you recommend that gym?
I actually used to go to CalFit, and I do recommend. It's a really welcoming, warm environment there. I do not have my membership anymore, and I believe I'm gonna switch over to 24-hour just to try it out. It's a little cheaper. Um,
That's
but
fair, yeah.
CalFit for sure, I do recommend. It's very like everyone there is super nice and show you how to do everything. I've had multiple people show me how to like. I learned how to deadlift there just because the people around there wanted to show me. And so yeah, I definitely uh, like CalFit a lot.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Here at the sauce, we also want to hear some of Jeremy's secret sauce. Jeremy, what is the one tip you can give to someone aspiring to be either a dancer or a bodybuilder, maybe even both? What's the
Okay,
one
I'll
tip
give
that you
you.
can give them to help them just succeed and push it to the next level?
Yeah, yes, sir. I would say I'll give you one for both.
Okay,
Um,
sounds great.
and they actually kind of tie into each other. I would say um, overarching one is be consistent. You gotta put the time in. You have to with dancing. You have to session. You have to lab. You have to go to classes. You have to dance, or you're not gonna improve your dancing.
Mm-hmm.
For bodybuilding, you just have to be consistent. You have to continually push your volume and continually um, destroy the muscle fibers in your muscles in order to create some new and stronger ones. That's just like the basics. So you just got to put the time in and be consistent with your eating. And even if you do something, it's better than nothing, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. And obviously, this is one of those things where the amount of time and effort you put into it is the amount of time, is the amount of the results you're gonna get back, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, I think we are almost out of time here. I just want to thank you so much, Jeremy, for joining me.
Thank you for having me,
It
Christian.
was a definite pleasure. Jeremy, I also heard you were starting a YouTube channel and whatnot.
Yeah, I dropped one video last week. I'm trying to do one per week, so we'll see how that goes. But my channel's called, it's just J Rose. That's all. So go ahead, take a look if you want. Just like it's kind of similar to this, just like tips about improving your life and mental stuff, physical stuff, just trying to better yourself.
Right, definitely. And I feel like everyone could better themselves nowadays. So
Yes, sir.
I will leave every single link that Jeremy Rose has, his LinkedIn, his Facebook, whatever. I'll put it in the description down below. I'll even put one for 24-hour fitness and whatnot in there. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you for
today
having
in
me.
the sauce. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you
Yeah.
stay saucy. Have a great one. Bye.